Hello everyone, back to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 is going to take around the 14th of December, and I should get on up for you very shortly. We have checked out beyond that, we extend GFS and ECM ensembles. At the end of the video, I'll have a look at CFSV2 for January and see what that is showing in January. So that's going to be very exciting, isn't it? GWV Friday has been released. That's month-ahead look-ahead with Japanese and CFSV2 models, so have a look at that one. As well, on Friday, we have our month-ahead look-ahead. This evening, around 5-6-ish, we're going to have the ECM WF 42-day forecast. So that's going to extend into the middle part of January, I think. And then after 10 o'clock, we'll be live streaming. We're going to have the GFS 18Z Friday night live stream. And I'll see you then on the live stream. We'll have a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh. Before I do anything else, though, I'm going to say thank you so much to our latest channel member. So this is the last channel member to shout out for the time being, up to 57 channel members now. Thank you so much to all of our channel members, by the way. So I'm going to say thank you so much to Samuel Bentley. Thank you so much to Samuel Bentley for becoming a channel member for GavsWeatherVids. It's amazing, it's incredible. Thank you so much, Samuel, for doing that. And thank you so much to all of our channel members. We now have 57 channel members. Absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much for all of the support. And thank you to all of our patrons. Thank you to all of our donors as well. It really is amazing what you do for me and the GavsWeatherVids. Thanks to all of our super chatters as well. Let's not forget our super chatters too. So, just thank you to each and every one of you. It really is amazing the support that you give me. And a special thank you, of course, to Samuel Bentley. We are now at 8,480 subscribers. Only got to put on another 20 or so subscribers to get ourselves to 8.5k. Then we're halfway to our next target of 9k subscribers. So the subs have moved very quickly recently, haven't they? So thank you so much for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, if you're subbed and you're new, then make yourself known, please, in the comments and in the live streams. We always love to see new names in the live chat during the streams, and also with the comments on the videos. So thank you so much to all of you for subbing. If you aren't yet subbed to the channel, if you're watching this for the very first time, you know, if this is the first time for watching GavsWeatherVids video, then please subscribe to the channel. And if everyone can tell their friends and family to subscribe as well, then that'd be absolutely great. And that gets us to 9k subs that much quicker. And of course, the ultimate target is going to be 10k, but when we ever get to 10k subscribers, I do not know. But thank you so much to each and every one of you for doing that. We have had snow around today, so let's begin by looking at latest observations from XE Weather in terms of the temperature. So it has been snow around today. I have seen some snow pictures, and I'll be trying to share some of those in the videos in the coming days. I haven't got time showing pictures in this one. We've got the ECM WF video to do after this. But certainly it's a cold afternoon out there. Look at this. Our maximum temperature is 8 degrees around the coastal fringes. So we've got 8 degrees there at the Isle of Portland. We've also got 8 degrees flashing away across Aberdeen. So it snowed heavily overnight, first thing this morning, across many parts of Scotland. But it's turned milder there, especially in the east. Bournemouth is at 8 degrees. Wick is at 8 degrees as well. Further westwards into central Scotland, Tulloch Bridge is only at 4 degrees, and Loch Glasgarnock is just at 4 degrees as well. Coming down to Northern Ireland, just 5 degrees at Belfast, into Northern England, only 3 degrees at Warcott, very cold through there. Whereas over towards the eastern side, Teesside is at 6 degrees. So what's going on here is that we're dragging in less cold air from off the North Sea, I think, onto the northeastern part of the country. Coming further southwards, Doncaster just at 3 degrees. Nottingham at 1 degree, just 1 degree above freezing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Very cold through the north and east Midlands. Wittering at just 2 degrees. Cambridge is at 4 degrees. I know there was a covering of snow in Cambridge earlier this morning. Biggin Hill is at 4 degrees. Norwich is at 4 degrees. So colder in these southern areas. Hereford is at 6 degrees. Up into Wales, we've got Capel Curragh at 4 degrees. We've got Sennybridge at 3 degrees. We've got Liverpool just 5 degrees. And down in southwest, Dunkeswell is at 5 degrees. And Cardingham is at 5 degrees. And into southeast corner, Hertsman's is at 6 degrees. Biggin Hill at 4, London Heathrow at 6. It's pretty cold. It's a pretty cold afternoon out there, and there's still a mix of rain, sleet, and some snow around. I think the snow has particularly gone up to the higher level routes on the high ground now. But yeah, it's a cold and cold afternoon out there. Going to be staying generally quite cold through the next few days as well. These are a GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. Looking at Newport in South Wales today. So the red line's a 30-year upper air temperature average for Newport. And we're going to be below average for the next week to 10 dates, really. So the dates are on the bottom of the chart, of course. So up to around the 14th of December, which is just here, we're generally solidly below average. Not really cold, not a freeze up, not a December to remember, not that sort of extreme level of very, very cold weather we had in December 2010. With day and nighttime temperatures like well below freezing all the time, and loads and loads of light and snow. Not that, but colder than we've had it over such a prolonged period in December for a number of years. You know, just generally quite cold and very chilly for the next week to 10 days. Now, as we go into the second half of December, and this is all extended range stuff, of course, so that gets up to the middle of the month, quite cold up to the middle of the month. Into the second half of December, this period just here, then we get a lot of scatter appearing. It's this period just there. So it is very difficult to decipher what is happening here, but it looks like we've got a warming trend. Most of the ensemble members are lifting up through the third week of December. There's a minority that's keeping things cold into the third week of December, and we just got to wait and see, got to wait and see where this goes, I think. As I explained yesterday, when you're in cold and blocked weather, the models will often try and eradicate that quickly and return us to the default setup, which is mild west or southwesterly winds and low pressure from off the Atlantic, and the default position of low pressure around Iceland and high pressure through the Azores. The models will try and get us back to that all the time. Sometimes it can happen very quickly, but you get a sudden reversion back to the default. A lot of the time they're too progressive in getting us back to the default setup, and so the cold weather can just hang on longer than anticipated. So this is all sort of into the second half of December. It's a long way out. Going to have to wait and see. What we can see is that there is a lot of precipitation to come. So, of course, this is the precipitation we've got right now, and we'll have like over the next couple of days. And so that could be rain, some of it could be sleet, some of it could be snow. A little bit drier through the early and middle part of next week, this period just here, although not completely dry. And then as we go from the second week of December into the third week of December, just getting more and more unsettled with some rather big rainfall spikes beginning to appear then. And of course, as the air becomes milder, if it does become milder, then we think much more about rain rather than anything particularly wintry. Temperature anomalies from the 4th to the 12th of December are going to be colder than average for the UK, for Ireland, for most parts of Western Europe. You can see where the modern average temperatures are across Northern and Eastern Europe and Southeastern Europe in particular. Precipitation anomalies from the 4th to 12th of December, a little bit on the drier than average side for most parts of the country. So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be precipitation around, but overall going to be a reasonable amount of dry weather, especially for England and Wales in the next week from the 4th through to 12th of December. Here's today's latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that winds are in from the north today. So low pressure is sitting in the southern North Sea off the coast of East Anglia just there, and we're pulling down these cold northerly winds around the western side of the area of low pressure. So looking quite cold and pretty wintry through some parts of the country today. This is a long fetch northerly as well. Look how far north the northerly is going. It goes all the way up to here, right way up to the Arctic Circle and plunging south. It is modified by a very long sea trek, but it's not a surprise really how far north the air is coming from that it's cold out there today. If it was a month or so on, it would be even colder, and nearly all the precipitation we've got today would be snow, I think, if it was a month or so further on into the winter. Right, so this is how the UK Met is looking for Monday, with low pressure trying to come in from off the Atlantic. We're within a cold air mass on Monday, so this could bring rain, sleet, or even a little bit of wet snow across parts of Northern Ireland, Wales, and southwestern England. Low pressure then slipping southwards as we go through into Tuesday. So yes, there might be some rain, sleet, or snow across southern, southwestern areas. Northern areas probably stay mainly dry. Low pressure is in the north, south, the east coast on Wednesday, so that brings more cold northerly winds and just generally looking quite chilly and pretty dank as we go to the middle of next week. We finish up, as far as we go for UK Met, it's the Thursday, the 10th of December, looking like that. So there's a bit of a trough across England and Wales, could bring further rain, maybe there was sleet or wet snow. And just generally still quite a cold feel on the cold side of the jet stream. The jet is the black line, so the jet is diving southwards through there, and it leaves us looking quite cold. We have got low pressure in the Atlantic, but it's going to try and push in, and we'll see how successful that push from the Atlantic is, and whether we can turn things milder beyond the 10th of December. Up to the 10th of December, looking quite cold. GFS 6Z looks like that. So again, we've got low pressure trying to get in from off the Atlantic here on Monday. That's trying to move in from the west and get rid of this cold air. Doesn't really succeed though, so the low pressure kind of slips southwards. There's another little low in the North Sea, so it just keeps us quite cold really, with risk anyway of wintry showers, if not sort of prolonged spells of rain, sleet or snow as we go through the early part of next week. Wednesday, again, trying to bring low pressure in from off the Atlantic. That one is struggling too. But the main thing here is this ridge from the Siberian High. So that is the Siberian High just there. It's sending a ridge into Scandinavia. And of course, that's trying to bring sort of easterly winds across the continent. These areas of low pressure in the Atlantic are trying desperately to bring rain from off the Atlantic, and also bring the jet stream in and bring mild air in from off the Atlantic. But with that high pressure up to the northeast, the progress of those areas of low pressure is being blocked, and so the jet stream is sort of slipping southwards and taking these areas of low pressure with them, and that places on the cold side of the jet. This is Thursday next week. Again, more low pressure is trying to get in from off the Atlantic, but really struggling against this high pressure up here. So the low pressures and the jet stream are just doing something a little bit like that. It goes on, so Friday, still looking quite cold, really, these low pressures trying to move in. So this suggests quite a cold week next week, actually, with the GFS 6 set. Even though the wind now has changed like a southerly southeast, it's still from a cold source. So no mild air up to the end of next week with the GFS 6Z. Eventually, by next weekend, this is the weekend of the 12th, 13th of December, the low pressures properly break through. And as they do so, they would start to bring milder air in from off the Atlantic, at least for the south. Probably still quite cold though up in the north. There might be rain or snow involved in that scenario. Eventually things started to get pushed on, and so as we go to the middle of December, then we start to pull up some properly mild southwesterly winds as the high pressure to the northeast begins to weaken and slips back into western parts of Russia, and so we start pulling up these mild southwesterly winds. But this is like the 15th of December, it's a very long way out, it's over 10 days away, and in this kind of pattern, that is a really long way out. Will that Scandinavian / Siberian High give up the ghost and allow these areas of low pressure and their mild southwest winds in that easily? We shall see. But as we go through into the second half of December, this GFS 6Z run does pull up some really quite mild air from the southwest, so we turn very mild into the middle part of December. Running up towards Christmas, that's how we look. So we get to the 20th of December now with the GFS 6Z as far as we can go. So we are running up towards Christmas. We've got high pressure still to our south and southeast. There is some high pressure trying to come back into Scandinavia as well. We're sort of pulling up a southwesterly wind, and this is one of those charts that could go in any direction. So from this, we could just keep the low pressure and the southwesterly winds going with wind direction in that sort of direction. Alternatively, the high pressure could take over just to our southeast and turn us dry and pull up a very mild southerly or southwesterly wind. We have spring-like conditions running up towards Christmas. The other possibility is that the high pressure could reach to the Scandinavian high and just set up a large area of high pressure running up towards Christmas. That would turn us dry and cold. And the final solution with this is that the heights all sort of migrate to Scandinavia and Western Russia, and we set up a big Scandinavian or Siberian high, and we pull in a bitterly cold easterly wind for Christmas. So it's one of those charts that can go in any direction, really. You pay your money, you take your choice. This is how the GEM is looking on Monday. Again, rather cold and unsettled. It stays rather cold and unsettled through much of next week. Not until the end of next week, but we finally push a low pressure in off the Atlantic, bringing wet and windy weather and much milder southwesterly winds with it. As we go into weekend of 12th, 13th of December, we're looking unsettled here with low pressure bringing bouts of rain in from off the Atlantic. So back into Atlantic-driven weather with the GEM from days sort of 6 to 10. ECM looks like that again, so cold and unsettled through the early part of next week with rain, sleet, possibly some snow around. Second half of next week, again, this is pushing the Atlantic in very quickly, much more quickly than the GFS does, for example. So this quickly raises the temperature in the second half of next week, turns us much milder, but also wetter and windier. And up to day 10, again, low pressure just pushing in with wind in from the southwest, looking quite mild. This is the precipitation type forecast based on that ECM run from tometeo.com. The band of rain and snow been affecting many parts of the country today is clearly seen. I think ECM's doing quite well, actually, with this rain, snow sort of scenario. So yeah, I think the ECM is doing okay. I think I'm going to pull this out a little bit. I think the ECM has done okay with this rain, snow sort of scenario today. More rain, sleet, snow continuing into the weekend. Most of the snow sort of on the highest ground, really. And the trend through the weekend is to turn things drier, but with an increasing risk of overnight frost. Into next week, again, bringing more rain and snow there into eastern Scotland, northeast England through the early part of next week. Otherwise, a lot of dry weather, but it will be cold. Then the second half of next week, in comes the Atlantic, bringing wet and windy weather in across the country very easily, getting rid of all the cold air, and then we're going to a mobile pattern with plenty of rain and wind coming in from off the Atlantic, and of course temperatures would be milder. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 via the Icelandic Met Office. This is for the 14th of December. We have 27 members of the ECM ensembles showing a Scandinavian high. We've got high pressure over Scandinavia, and they've got low pressure to our south. They're bringing in a cold easterly wind. 27, a majority of ECM ensemble members are doing that, bringing in cold easterlies at day 10. 14, including the operational run, that's the run we've just been looking at, with low pressure over and to the west of the country at day 10 and bringing in a milder westerly. So the ECM operational run is not supported by its ensembles today. It's a minority option to turn things quickly milder, and the majority of ECM ensemble members keep the Scandinavian height and keep things cold, actually, up to day 10. 14th of December. 10 just here are somewhere in between, because they do have the Scandinavian high, but they've got the low pressure out in the Atlantic, and they've sort of got a ridge to the southwest. So, I mean, that could be starting to turn things a little bit milder, but overall that's probably cold and frosty and mainly dry, but this low in the Atlantic will probably start to bring milder air in from the west. So that's kind of like a blend of these two scenarios, really. This one just here could be the most likely, I suppose. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 19th of December. We have 23 members of the ECM ensembles. Look at this, still very interesting, with high pressure in Scandinavia and signs of a bit of retrogression, actually, towards Greenland and Iceland. With low pressure still to the south, that's still keeping wind in from the east. And those ECM ensemble members, those 23, are cold with easterly winds. 18 with high pressure to our south and east. Low pressure is out to the northwest. So, I mean, that could go in either direction. So that could be like mild and westerly, or you could see the high pressure over Scandinavia taking over and pulling wind back in to the east. And then 10 with low pressure over top of the country. Obviously, that's the most unsettled option. There is a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge involved with that as well, though, so it's not particularly mild. I mean, yeah, it's probably coming in off the Atlantic, but from the northern Atlantic. So, I mean, that's quite cool and unsettled. But definitely the 23 that we have here, that's the coldest option, with still a continuation of proper northern blocking. Lastly, for this video, this Sauber CFS V2 is forecasting January. So this is a 700 millibar height anomaly for January, looking very westerly. High pressure is to the south, low pressure is to the north. Winds are in from a westerly direction, so looking mild, wet and windy in January, quite zonal. You will, however, notice there's a lot of red going on within the northern latitudes. So there's quite a bit of high pressure up towards Greenland, quite a bit of high pressure towards Svalbard. And the CFS has managed to extend that down through most parts of Europe and out into the Atlantic as well. It's a very bizarre, very, very bizarre pattern through to Southern America, on into the Pacific Ocean, just a huge sort of mass of sort of high pressure doing something like that. So it's very, very bizarre, 700 millibar height anomaly that. But the upshot is, despite all of the blocking, we're mild with winds in from the southwest. But with such considerable levels of northern blocking, it could still get quite interesting. I'll say no more than that. The temperature anomaly is very mild in January, as you would expect, of course, with winds in from southwest, and it's going overall for a rather wetter than average month, really. Slightly on wetter than average side, but with northern blocking, so very, very strange CFS run today. Right, that is it then for this one. So if you enjoyed the video, please smash a like. Let us know in the comments what you think about all of this, and make sure you're subscribed to our channel. We're going to be back around 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock, with the ECM doing their 42-day look ahead, so come back that then, and then we shall be live streaming tomorrow. We'll be live streaming the GFS 18Z. We'll be live streaming from 10 o'clock tonight, I should say, 10 past 10 tonight. We'll be live streaming the GFS tomorrow. We're going to start off with December month-end forecast, very late with that, but that'll be coming up, first video up tomorrow. Then we're going to have weekend forecast, have a 10 to 14 day as well, and channel members, do check in to your channel members live stream at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. For this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.